Morning, everyone. It's good to see you again. How have you been? Hola, hola. Vamos a ver. Echo, headset. ec- I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to continue um, solving or graphing quadratic equations. Okay. So we're going to have the second example. In this case, we have to graph negative x squared plus ax and plus ax and actually minus 12 is minus 12. And we're going to follow the same steps that we prepared yesterday. Remember, the first thing that we have to do is transform the equation in the standard form. After that, we had to try to find out what will be the vertex, what will be the symmetric axis, the x, y intercepts. Let's get the graph. And after let's get the graph, we have to determine if we're talking about the maximum point or minimum point and determine what will be the intervals of increase or decrease. Okay, so in this case, we're going to start with the same quadratic, another quadratic equation. F dx equals negative x squared plus ax minus 12. Okay, first step, what we have to do. Remember, the first thing that we have to do is transform this quadratic equation, is written in the general form into the standard form. How we can do that, sorry, in this situation, we have to apply the completing square technique. Okay, don't forget completing the square. Remember to apply the completing square technique. Make sure the leader coefficient, I mean the number who is next to at the left side of the square variable, that's supposed to be 1. But in this case, this is not going to be 1. This is negative 1. For that reason, we're going to take the common factor, this negative 1 of the general equation, and we got x squared minus ax plus 12. And because this time this leader coefficient is 1, this time we can proceed to apply the completing square technique. Remember, what is the formula from the completing square? Remember, the formula from the completing square technique is given by f dx equals x positive negative b over 2 second power minus b over 2 second power positive negative c. This is the completing a square formula technique. So let's do it. We're going to copy the negative sign and we're going to open brackets just for protect the completing a square formula, okay? Now let's going to do it. Open parenthesis x, negative, half of 8, that will be 4, elevated the second power, subtracting 4 at the second power plus 12, okay? And according for this situation, we got negative sign, brackets, x minus 4, second power minus 16 plus 12. And we got f dx equals negative x minus 4 second power negative 4. And this negative sign, we're going to apply distributive property, but be careful. This negative sign won't affect x and negative 4 because it's overprotected by the second power. For that reason, our final answer will be given by negative parentheses x minus 4 second power. And by the other hand, negative times negative will be positive. And we got positive 4. Okay? And this is going to be the parabola equation or the quadratic equation written in the standard form. All right? I don't know if you have some questions to this one. Yes. Uh-huh. Because outside of the number is a negative. Because remember the formula? It says positive, negative C, right? And what is the sign of C in this case? It's positive. That's why I'm copying that positive 12. And you know, 4 second power is 16 times negative, negative 16. This negative sign multiply only this number. That's why. And negative 16 plus 12 is negative 4. And this negative sign multiplying out the both terms, but we cannot affect x and y and 4 because we're protected by the number 2. This second power. Just only copy the negative sign outside in the first term. However, in the second one, it's going to affect. Negative times negative will be positive. Understood? The rest of the people, did you understand? All right. And at home, there's questions? Questions? No? All right. Now let's going to determine the rest of the factors. And by the way, this is given the standard form equation of the parabola. A parentheses x minus h second power positive negative k. All right. So I'm saying positive negative k because it's depending what will be the sign in this case. Okay. And the letter A in this situation will be negative 1, H will be 4, and K will be 4 also. Okie dokie. Let's going to determine the basic list, the basics. For example, the first thing that we have to determine will be the vertex. Why is so useful to determine the vertex? Because the vertex will be the center of the parabola. And remember, what did I tell you yesterday? The vertex is formed by the coordinates h and k. Who's going to be h? The number who's adding or subtracting the letter x. But always in the letter h, I'm going to copy the opposite sign. Okay. In this case, the sign, the number 4 is negative. Okay. In the coordinate of the vertex will be positive because here was negative. However, in the letter K, we're going to copy the number with the same sign. We won't change the sign in the letter K. For that reason, the vertex will be 4, comma 4. So another step, we can try to find out what will be the symmetric axis. Remember, symmetric axis will be determined the exactly half value of the letter X is given by the formula x equals negative b over 2a. If we did well the process, the x coordinate of the symmetric axis, that will be the same value than the x coordinate of the letter x. If we don't have the same value, that means we're screwed the process. It's a simple merely words. It's an easy way how we can check if we're doing well or wrong. Let's do it. For example, the formula gave us negative. What is the value from B? B, remember, is the number positive 8, right? 8. Over twice, what is the value of the letter A? Will be negative 1, right? So, negative 1. And you know, negative times negative will be positive. 8 divided by 2 will be 4. Oh, what does that mean? That means we did well in the process. We finally found the vertex, we finally found the symmetric axis, and we have the same coincidence with the vertex. And if you want to check if we did the, yes, Maria Jose? Ah, the answer will be correct because you have to compare this answer with the x coordinate of the vertex. And if you're there matching the same number with the same sign, you did well. If that's not the case, you're best screw the problem. This is simple merely words. Okay. And another way to checking this process, if you don't want to see the x coordinate, if you want to check if we did well K coordinate, I mean the right coordinate in the vertex, the only thing that we have to do is evaluate the symmetric axis in the original equation. It doesn't matter in the black one or the purple one. The result that's supposed to give us the same number in the letter Y. Okay, so let's check over here. 4 minus 4, 0. Second power, 0. Times negative 1, 0. Plus 4, 4. And we got the vertex. Understood? Okay, at home, people, did you understand? Got it? Okay, then we know the vertex. We know the symmetric axis. Well, we're going to try to find out what will be the intercepts. The x, yep, is rather to use the original equation because in the original equation is identified who's going to be A, who's going to be B, and who's going to be C. A will be the number who is next to x squared. B, the number who is next to the linear variable, and C, the number, the independent term, the number who doesn't have the variable. Okay, perfect. Good question. The Julio says to using the symmetric axis, which equation we're supposed to use? The general form or the standard form? Well, it's rather to use the general form because in the general form it's clearly identified who's going to be A, B, and C. A is the number located next to x squared. B is the number located next to x. And C is the independent term. I mean, the number who doesn't have a variable. Okay, we are determining the vertex. We are determining the symmetric axis. Now let's going to determine the x, y intercepts. Okay, how are we going to get the x and y intercepts? Simple. Remember, if you wish, in the original equation, for example, what will be the value from y when x equals 0? We have the function, have the 0 equals, in this case, we can say negative 0 second power plus 8 times 0, negative 12. So as soon as you can see, the value from y when x equals 0 will be given by negative 12. Okay, that will be the first intercept. The second one, what will be the value from y? Sorry, what will be the value from x when y equals 0? Well, to solve this problem, we can apply, again, a try and error technique. We can use the completing the square, or we can use the quadratic formula. Which method would you like to use? Try and error, quadratic formula? Okay, if you really want to use the quadratic formula, remember, we're going to have this quadratic equation. X squared plus 8x negative 12, that will be equal to 0. And once again, we have to identify what will be the values from A, B, and C. A is given by negative 1. B is given by positive 8. And C is given by negative 12. This is going to be the three values, A, B, and C. Okay? And what will be the quadratic formula? Simple. X equals negative B, positive negative, square root B squared minus 4 times AC divided by 2/8. Okay? What we have to do right now? Well, simple. The only thing that we have to do is replace the values A, B, and C. Okay? So we got B is positive 8, positive times negative will be negative. Positive negative. Square root 8 second power minus 4 times. What is the value from 8? It's negative 1. What is the value from C? It's negative 12, right? See, it's negative 12. The entire expression divided by twice the product from 8, and 8 that will be negative 1, okay? And what we got? Please, the first thing that we have to do is simplify the numbers who's inside the root. I mean, negative 8, positive negative, square root of what? Hey, six second power will be 64. Negative times positive times negative will be negative. 4 times 12 will be 48, right? Yeah, 48. 48. And this entire equation must be divided by negative 2. Uh-huh. Negative times negative is positive. Times negative, yeah, is negative 12. Remember, you can check that. The original equation is negative 12. And if you see the three numbers that we identify over here, A will be negative 1, B will be positive 8, and C will be negative 12. All right, let's continue. Mhm. So 64 minus 48 will be given by, ¿cuánto es? I think it will be 16. No, no, no. See, 16, right? 16 divided by negative 2. And you know, what is the square root of 16? Obviously will be 4. So we got x equals negative 8, positive negative 4 divided by negative 2. Okay, and we have to apply the two solutions. One of them using the positive signs and another one using the negative sign. I mean, x equals negative 8 plus 4 divided by negative 2 for one hand, and by the other hand, we got negative 8, negative 4 divided by negative 2. In the first one, negative 8 plus 4 will be negative 4. And negative 4 divided by negative 2 will be positive 2. Okay. By the other hand, we got negative 8. Negative 4 will be negative 12. Divided by negative 2, that will be positive, sorry, positive 6. Okay. So we can conclude what will be the intercepts. The intercepts could be given by 0, 12, 2, 0, and 6, 0. All right. And we have prepared the full process or the mechanical process before to sketch the graph. Yes, Maria Jose? Mhm. Y is a negative? Because B is positive, right? But if you check the quadratic formula, it says negative B. And you know, positive times negative, that gave us negative. That's why. Understood? Mhm. In which, yeah, you're right. It's negative. Thank you. It's negative. 0, negative 12. Thanks for letting me know. All right. The rest of the people at home, do you have questions? Preguntas? 8 will be always the number who is next to the left side of the quadratic value, the square, x square, actually. B will be the number who's to the left side of the letter x, the linear. And C, the number who doesn't have variable, always. Hold on a second. Yo sé que es un poco del protocolo, pero Me estoy ahogando. Sorry. The partner, Diego asked me, Mister, how do I know who's going to be A, B, and C? Once again, A is the number located the left side of the quadratic value. The second one, the x squared, actually. B is the number who's next to the linear variable. I mean left side. And C always will be the number without variable or without letters, right? Always. Now is the moment of through. We're going to skip the graph. To skip the graph is the easier part because the only thing that we had to do is graph the vertex, the intercepts, and including the symmetric axis. Okay, I'm going to explain once again how we can use the symmetric axis coordinate in this situation. All right, so I'm going to move the camera a little bit to the left side. I think this is going to be more than enough. You don't need to create 12, 12 linear values. I'm going to scale 2 and 2. All right. That will be easier for us. 2, 4, 6, because we're going to have a huge coordinate plane and we don't want to do that. At least I don't want to do that. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2, 8, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay. X, negative X, Y, and oops, Y, and negative Y. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8, negative 10, negative 12, negative 14, negative 2, negative 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and negative 14. And finally, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, we are creating the coordinates plane in scale 2 and 2. What is the first thing that we have to graph? Always, always, always graph the vertex with the first thing that we have to do. Why? Because the vertex is the center of the parabola. It's in simple merely words. It's given by the point 4 with 4. Okay? This is going to be, the green point will be determined by the vertex. The purple ones will be given by the interceptions. If you see what are the interceptions, we have 0 with negative 12 located over here, the first one. Another one will be 2 with 0 located over here. And finally, 6 with 0. But if you see, we can perfectly graph the parabola, but we have a missing point because we have 2 points to the left side of the parabola and one singular point to the right side of the parabola. Well, in this case, my dear students, it's the moment of truth. We're going to use the symmetric axis. Okay, if you see the symmetric axis, this time gave us positive 4. When we have this letter X positive, that means we're going to move some kind of units to the right side because the answer was positive, okay, in the letter X. So if the X coordinate of the vertex have 4 units, okay, and the symmetric axis means the graph, because we have a positive solution, the graph will be moved in horizontal path or in the letter X 4 units to the right, okay? What will be the new X coordinate if the X coordinate will be 4 units and we're going to use 4 units to the right? What will be the new x coordinate? 8, right? Perfect. That will be 8. So with that given answer, with this 8 units, we can evaluate the equation because we are looking for what will be the y-axis, right? We can use that answer in the black one or in the purple one. It doesn't matter. And the result will give us that y coordinate. I'm going to use this one because it will be easier for us, at least for me, to determine what will be the y coordinate. 8 minus 4 will be 4. Second power, 16 times -1 is -16. Plus 4 gave us -12, right? For that reason, the symmetric axis coordinate will be given by 8 units in X and -12 in Y. So I'm going to use this orange marker to determine what will be the symmetric axis. And you're going to see we have a parabola pointing tied. Tied, I mean in the left and the right side. 2 points in the left side and 2 points in the right side. Remember the intersection point we were talking about, the purple one, the vertex is the green one, and this orange one will be um, that symmetric axis. That's why the name symmetric, because we are have to matching the same coordinates left and right side. Yes, Julio? In the letter X, in the letter X, in the letter X. If the answer is positive, moves to the right side, right? It's adding. Well, depending, well, it's adding. And if it moves to the left side, we'll be subtracting. Well, move to, exactly. When you have the answer, the new letter X, you're going to evaluate. You want to, if you wish, you can evaluate the original one or the purple one. It doesn't matter where you're going to evaluate the answer, that will be the same. Okay, exactly. If the letter X was negative, move to the left. If the, because in this time it was positive, move to the right. Okay, got it. And now it's time to graph. And to graph the parabola, it's simple. The only thing that we have to do is connect the points. You're going to see, oh, da, 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 da. Ah, and that's it. That's all that we have to do. We have the parabola equation. It's given by, I'm going to write once again the equation in the standard form. F dx equals negative x minus 4 second power plus 4. Okay, this is going to be the graph of the parabola. Did you understand this part? Yes or no? At home, did you understand? Los que están en casa, ¿entendieron? Okay, now it's time to determine the if this is a maximum or minimum point. Okay, every time the parabola is concave to downward, just like this case, and I'm going to say in Spanish, es cóncava hacia abajo, es decir, que las flechitas de la parábola van para abajo, we are talking about a maximum point. Okay, always the parabola, the graph of the parabola is concave to downward. We're going to talking about a maximum point. And that maximum point is given by the y coordinate. So the max point given by the y coordinate. And what will be the y coordinate of the vertex? 4, right? Well, the max point will be given by y equals 4 units. Okay, because that was a maximum. Yesterday, because the parabola was concave upward, was a minimum point, given y equals, I don't remember it was, what number was, yesterday, I think it was -2. Don't remember exactly value, all right? Now, let's going to determine the intervals where the graph increase and when the graph decreases. Okay, to increase or decrease, or it doesn't matter when to start in the increase, increases or decreases. Okay, but at the moment you're going to write the intervals, don't forget this golden rule. We're going to take the numbers belongs to the letter X. All right. The y-axis is useful to determine where the graph will be climbing and where the graph will descending. But at the moment we're going to write the intervals, I mean the numbers, we're going to use the numbers from the letter X, not the number from the letter Y. For example, as soon as you can see in this graph, the right side, no, the left, the left side of this parabola is climbing, is rising up, right? So in which numbers? In the letter X. In the letter X, we're going to start from all the negative numbers. I mean, again, letter X will increase the since negative infinite. And what will be the maximum number who's in the letter X, whose the parabola stops to rising up in the 4, right? Perfect. So in this case, the graph of the parabola increases since negative infinite until 4 because we are using the x coordinates, no the y coordinates. Please don't confuse with this number 4 because this is a coincidence because we are matching 4 and 4, right? Now, taking the x coordinates, remember the y-axis is useful to determine where the in what point the graph will be decreasing, okay, or descending. So would you like to tell me what will be the starting value from the letter X where the graph is starting from decreases? 4 again, right? Remember, the vertex is the center. So they're going to start from 4 until what numbers? Positive infinite. Check the x value, no y value. I know in the y-axis will be negative infinite because in both situations we are moving in the negative y-axis. Remember, y is useful to determine where it's going to climb in, where it's going to descend in. Okay, but at the moment when to write the answers, use the value from x. And we start in the middle point. Okay, we're going to start from 4, and even we are going to add in positive value from the letter x, the graph continue descending. Okay, for that reason, decreases in 4 until positive infinite. And that's it. That's all that we have to do in this equation. ¿Preguntas? Pregunta, mis estimados, en casa. Que no crea que no me he olvidado de ustedes. Aquí,
Mister,
ajá.
all the time is going to be infinite, or it can change.
Depending on the shape of the graph.
Okay.
Depending. Another question? Okay, if there are no more questions, tomorrow I'm going to continue solving another example. All right. Thank you so much for the attendance. Have a great and wonderful day. Take care of yourself.